everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you 5 benefits of practicing yoga. And for me, I've been practicing for the past 7 or 8 years, and I've definitely seen an improvement in all of these areas. So if you haven't tried yoga, if you tried it once or twice and didn't, you weren't really feeling it, maybe these things can help you to try again. So the first benefit that I saw right away was my patience. And the first type of yoga that I've taken was Bikram yoga class, heated class. It's an hour and a half. It's a very long, strenuous class. And right away, I noticed my patience being improved in such a great way. So at this time, I was commuting to New York City every single day for work and school, and that can be a real frustrating hassle and leave you impatient quickly. And I noticed that I would let people go ahead of me, I would take my time, and things just did not bother me. I would allow things to happen when they should happen. And I think that's because in a yoga class or in a yoga session, you have to focus on what you're doing. And you have to be patient with yourself and your body, or else you can end up injuring yourself. So I think that that translates into your life off the yoga mat as far as being patient. I noticed that I became patient when I'm stuck in traffic, when I'm in a long line at a store. I find something to occupy my time. I wait and I don't complain about having to wait. So yeah, that's one great benefit that I noticed in practicing yoga. It would be strength, and this goes for physical strength as well as mental strength. So as far as physical strength goes, it's almost obvious. If you're practicing a certain kind of yoga, you're using your body in ways that you may not have in other types of physical practice. And for example, if you're doing handstands, if you're doing any kind of inversions, if you're doing balancing, you're building strength in your arms, in your upper body, in your legs, all over, practicing regularly. You're using your body weight, not necessarily extra weights, but your body weight alone is going to make you stronger. As mental strength goes, you have to mentally be strong to get through a yoga class. One common complaint that I hear from a lot of people who don't necessarily want to practice yoga or haven't is that yoga is too slow. And yes, yoga is slow depending on the class you go to, but for the most part, it's slow. It's a process that it forces you to slow down. So you have to be mentally strong to get through this class. Real world, off the mat, and being mentally strong to deal with different situations and different real life things that happen that maybe not so good, and you have to be strong to keep pushing and to keep growing. And I've definitely realized that, and was throughout my pregnancy, it wasn't the most smooth pregnancy, and I had to be mentally strong because I knew that if I just crumbled under the stress, that it would affect my baby. So I was forced to be mentally strong, and I definitely thank my yoga practice for that. The third thing, and probably most obvious that a lot of people notice right away, is flexibility. But for me, again, it was flexibility in my body and also flexibility in my mind and the way that I view the world and the choices that I make, and being flexible enough to move with life and be okay with changing directions and things not necessarily going the way I wanted or the way I had planned, to just be flexible in the goals that I set for myself and how I would achieve them. That is one big part of what yoga has done for me. As far as flexibility of the body, definitely you're going to see an improvement in the flexibility of your hips and your back. So back bends, hip openers are amazing, and hip openers also release a lot of emotional energy and emotional baggage that you may have held onto. And you'll notice that in your yoga practice, in a class. There have been times that I've been in a class and gotten into a hip opener and just started crying. Not knowing where the tears were coming from or anything, but it releases a lot of tension and emotional energy. But I've definitely found that to be beneficial on my mat and off my mat. Being flexible is amazing. It's going to keep you safe. If you're an athlete, flexibility is everything. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you will get injured easily. As you get older, you know, the more movement you have in your body, you won't have to deal with some of these issues that come with age. You keep yourself nice and young and limber, and that is a great benefit of practicing yoga. The next benefit is going to be courage. So this might sound silly, but a lot of these poses, if you've never tried them, they can be scary. And once you realize that your body can do anything with time and practice and patience, you will try over and over and over again. So before this year, I did not know how to do a handstand. And it was something that I was terrified of. Like, I was always afraid of just falling on my head and like breaking my neck. That was my biggest fear. And now I can pop into one. I will do it over and over and over, repeatedly practicing, and knowing that yes, you know, there are always risks when you practice things like physically like that with your body, but I've been taught to get into these postures safely. So, you know, accidents happen, but that doesn't deter me from doing my practice. And that also goes into the real world. This one I am still working on, as far as not being afraid to step out and try things that, you know, aren't in my comfort zone. But I know that with time, it becomes easier and easier. So definitely courage and being able to try things you wouldn't have before, and facing that fear and knowing that you will be okay as long as you're taking care of yourself and practicing safely. The last one would be the improvement in my breathing. So what I remember so clearly from my yoga teacher training is the way we breathe typically is so incorrect, and we're keeping our breath short and shallow up in this area, and we're not getting the full benefits of the oxygen. Definitely is going to be a great connection between your mind and your body, and I feel like the link is through your breathing. It's through your breath, and through each posture you're told to breathe through it and to hold something for a certain amount of breaths, and to know that when you are in a posture and you can breathe steadily through it, then you are doing it correctly. So being conscious of that, I fell in love with the concept of, oh my goodness, I can take a deep breath, a deep calm breath, and it can change my attitude, it can change my mind, it can change how I'm feeling in a matter of seconds. And again, another way I brought this practice outside of the mat was when I was in labor. So I had no proper labor training. I didn't take any classes or anything like that. And all I told myself was to breathe. And it wasn't the kind of breaths you see in like movies, those short breaths. It was deep breaths. And that is what got me through my labor, all natural labor breathing. So if ever I find myself upset or sad or just in a state of mind that I don't want to be in, I will make a conscious effort to take the time to take at least 10 deep breaths in through my nose, out through my nose. Let the oxygen fill up my entire belly and let it out slowly. And if you practice this, you will feel a difference in the tension in your body, in the clarity in your mind. Those are the benefits that I've gotten from my yoga practice, and I would love to hear what benefits you have gotten if you've practiced yoga. If you haven't practiced yoga, I definitely recommend taking a local class at least just once to see how you like it. It has been a process for me. It was something that I fell in love with right away. Everyone is not like that, and sometimes the practice finds you when you need it the most. So when you need mental clarity, when you need strength, when you need flexibility, you will stumble upon yoga or someone who does yoga or invites you to a class, and things like that. So that's all for this video. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to be putting up a new video every Tuesday and Friday along with a blog post on my website, and I will see you all next time. Bye.